Northeast Ohio cranking on the lake for this evening into the overnight and likely on Sunday. Mixed precipitation changing over to all snow for some. The latest on radar coming up.
Child kidnapping, the help Jackson Township Police first requested after the abduction of a 5-year-old girl. Offensive explosion. Nick brings you the highlights as the Buckeyes show off their numerous weapons while blasting the Boilermakers. Climate compromise. The deal finally reached by 200 nations from across the globe, and what it left out.
Live from WKYC Studios, this is What's Next.
Well, good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Will Ewick. We're hearing word of a winter weather advisory in effect around some portions of Northeast Ohio tonight. Meteorologist Jason Michael joins us now to break it down. Jason, what are you seeing?
Oh, we're still watching this really big, large, drastic system march towards the Great Lakes right now. It's still well out west right now, and we do have a dry slot moving through Northeast Ohio, which is great for us because we can take ourselves to bed and then we wake up and we have another thing to talk about come tomorrow. This is what it looks like on satellite and radar right now. You can see where this system is still locked in just to the north and west of the Chicagoland area. But let me talk about the winds. The winds are what's pulling in a little bit of the dry slot right now. Surface winds coming out of the southwest, breezy, 5, 10, even gusting up to about 15 miles per hour. Look at our friends over there in Mansfield right now. Now, the surface of the area is still mostly warm. I use warm very loosely because we're still above freezing for a lot of people here. But you can see where we've kind of got some light precipitation moving across areas of Lake County, Geauga County, with that advisory still in effect for portions of Ashtabula County. What that looks like through the rest of the evening into the overnight and also coming up for Sunday. We'll time that out coming up a little bit later in that full forecast. Will?
It's that time of year, Jason. We'll see you again. Thank you very much. Meanwhile, the 5-year-old missing from Jackson Township has been reunited with her family this evening, but questions remain on why an Amber Alert was not issued right away. Lydia Sparra has the details.
Anna Burke is safe and sound. That's what Jackson Township Police are saying on Saturday, but that's not how it started. Listen to Anna's mother, Jessica Ungard, on a 911 call from Thursday.
You know, they've taken her out a lot of times. I've known these people for like 2 years.
And they are the neighbors. Jonathan Stinnett and his girlfriend were here at the Goodwill store right across the street from the Jackson Township Police Department when he disappeared with the child.
But it's been like over an hour and he hasn't showed back up to Goodwill with my daughter.
Then you hear Ungard say this.
This is so freaking scary.
Police wanted to issue an Amber Alert, but that wouldn't happen for almost 24 hours.
I can tell you that this agency attempted to do it. We provided them with the information we have. They make the determination. That's what I have to say about that.
OSP Watch Desk issues the Amber Alert. Lieutenant Nathan Dennis says there are certain parameters to issue an Amber Alert, one being there has to be evidence of an immediate threat, injury, or loss of child. We issued a missing child and endangered child, which is a step down from an Amber Alert. So there was no push alert. When the child was still gone, the parameters had changed. Finally, an Amber Alert for the 5-year-old. Stinnett was seen at a gas station, the minivan at the pump with the child inside. Late Friday night, Stinnett was found in Sanford, Illinois, 7.5 hours from Jackson Township. A 911 caller saw the van on the side of the road. He was arrested and charged with abduction, kidnapping, and interference with custody. Jonathan Stinnett is being held in the McLean County Jail waiting for extradition.
Now, there are still so many questions about this case as to where was Stinnett going and why did he take her? So, of course, we asked investigators that and they had no comments. Well, they're saying this is still an ongoing investigation. Back to you.
An ongoing investigation will stay on closely. Lydia, thank you so much. And new tonight, the Cleveland Orchestra calls off this evening's performance because of a possible COVID case. The cancellation is in accordance with the COVID protocols developed in collaboration with the Cleveland Clinic. The shows for tomorrow and Monday are still on for now. Everyone who had tickets for tonight's performance will get an email explaining how you can get a refund, reschedule, or to donate the tickets. Ohio as a whole is reporting 4,689 new COVID cases in the past 24 hours. That's up about 1,000 over the 3-week average. Hospitalizations, ICU admissions are both down, though, and no deaths have been reported. And the Buckeyes showed off their loaded offense today against Purdue. Receiver Garrett Wilson having a great day. Nick Camino joins us now. Nick,
how about that?
This is the Buckeye team that Buckeye fans have been waiting to see.
I think a lot of people were wondering when they were all going to put it together. We know Ohio State has the playmakers, and today it was on full display against the Purdue Boilermakers down in Columbus. Again, we know they got guys on both sides of the football that can make some plays. Today, it seemed like they all did it. I mean, that's just how it was. If it wasn't C.J. Stroud, it was freshman running back Trevion Henderson. When it wasn't Henderson, it was junior wideout Garrett Wilson. These Buckeye playmakers were on fire. Stroud finding Wilson on a 21-yard touchdown connection to get the scoring parade started. That made it 7-0 Ohio State. Still first quarter, it's Henderson. Remember, he's just a freshman. He's closing in on Maurice Claret's freshman touchdown record, a 57-yarder here. Ohio State on top, 21-7. The day really belonged to Wilson, though. As Will mentioned, 4 touchdowns on the day, 3 receiving, also had a 51-yard touchdown run. And, I mean, just an unbelievable day for him. Ohio State a winner, 59-31. Ryan Day afterward on his talented junior wide receiver.
I mean, his God-given ability is obviously off the charts, but it's the football IQ, it's the techniques, it's the fundamentals, the route running that's really improved.
It's funny, we talked earlier this week about Ohio State, would they need some style points? And Ryan Day kind of said, no, I just want to win a football game. You know, he wasn't too concerned about that. I think today they had some style points against Purdue, a Purdue team that beat Iowa this year, and they also beat Michigan State last week.
The question is, was it enough style points to possibly move them up in the rankings?
Well, here's the thing. So they are number 4 in the college football playoff right now. So they would be in if the college football playoff started. Could they pass Oregon because of this? We'll see. Oregon's playing right now against Washington State. So Oregon has that win over Ohio State. So we'll kind of see how that plays out. But I don't think they're moving, that's for sure. And that's all you need to do is just be a top 4 team.
Stay where you're at, and then we have a big football game coming up tomorrow. We'll preview that.
We've got so much sports to get to tonight. It's crazy.
Nick, we'll see you again.
Cavs won't lose. We're ready.
You're locked and loaded. Meanwhile, new tonight, almost 200 nations have reached a deal aimed at keeping a key global warming target alive. It happened today at the UN summit at Glasgow, Scotland. That agreement did include one last-minute change that watered down important language about coal, though. The document agreed upon includes the words phase down instead of phase out using coal power. Well, just ahead tonight, the one major company in Ohio offering certain jobs on the spot, and there are still positions available. That's next.
What's Next is sponsored by the Calvetta Brothers Floor Show. It's time to fall in love again with your home.
Well, the Greater Cleveland Regional Transit Authority is looking for some talented bus drivers and workers. They held a hiring event today at the West Park Rapid Station on Lorraine Avenue. The RTA, like many other industries, has been hit hard by the pandemic, so management there offered on-the-spot interviews, and some people were even given positions immediately. This type of hiring event means a lot to those struggling to find work.
It's very important because now times are changing, and we all need a little bit more. We need benefits, and we need a little bit more pay just to help because the cost of living is rising so fast.
We are promoting that the bus operator position is a career path with RTA, and particularly as we live out our mission of connecting the community, our bus operators are always needed and always in demand.
Now, we checked with RTA tonight, and there are still jobs available. Just go to their website, click on jobs, and you see what may be a good match for you. The Cleveland Public Library is kicking off its renovation project at the Lorraine Branch building. It's in the Detroit Shoreway neighborhood, where the historic Carnegie building will have a new community room, a laptop bar, cafe, and a teen area when it's all done and completed. Well, up next, some wild weather video you just have to see. And could any of that be headed our way? Meteorologist Jason Michael has the full forecast. Check out this video. Powerful storms with tornadoes ripped through Long Island today. You can see giant trees uprooted, one even splitting a house into 2 parts. Now, thankfully, no one was seriously hurt, but the storms did some major damage, as you can see, in a number of communities. And luckily, I think we're out of the tornado window here in Ohio, but Mother Nature has something else in store for us.
She has a lot to say here, especially for our friends up there in the Northeast. They just don't have the infrastructure to take these types of storms no matter what time of year it is.
Yeah.
And it's been very unseasonable, not only for the Midwest, but also the Northeast as well. We had that front that came through yesterday. This is what caused that damage out there. And we have another one headed our way. Let's talk about the trough that is going to be marching towards our area over the next several hours here. It is slowly moving. It's still over towards the west of Lake Michigan right now. We're sort of on the leading edge of that. And what I mean is we're still pulling in these southwest winds into our region. These are surface winds now, and I'm going to explain what I mean by that in just a few. We're still tracking some light rain showers moving along the lakeshore right now. I'm still watching over in Geauga County, also towards Ashtabula right now. You can see where we're starting to get a little bit of showers moving towards Mentor right now, Painesville, also North Perry, Leroy, you're getting just a little bit as well. Now the radar beam is capturing a little mixing that's happening just above the surface, despite still having some surface-based temperatures above the freezing mark. This is where my eye is for this evening and likely going to remain overnight tonight. You can see where some of this mixing is beginning to take place right along 271. And National Weather Service at this point still keeps a winter weather advisory in effect through the overnight hours into early morning hours for tomorrow. You can see that around 6 a.m. is when this will be allowed to expire. Now, let me point out this. We've entered in sort of a dry slot right now because any of the precipitation that we have is really kind of allowing itself to fade in this hour. We're not really picking up a whole lot of energy. This is why we have a little bit of a question mark if we're going to need to keep this winter weather advisory around. Current temperatures above the freezing mark, as I said before. This is why we've had more of a rain event tonight rather than a mixed precipitation or even a snow event. But when you factor in the winds, it already feels pretty chilly out there in the upper 20s. Now let's roll the clock forward here. We're going to walk you through this storyline over the next several hours. Through the overnight hours into early tomorrow morning, we're going to be flirting with the freezing mark. But as we get these bands moving on in, well, inland, it's going to be much colder there rather than along the lakeshore. 12 noon tomorrow. Despite being in the upper 30s, you can see Ashtabula at 37 degrees, surface winds out of the southwest. Above the surface in the mid-levels, you're still going to have this cold air aloft, which is going to likely allow for a little bit more of the snow-rain mix. Then we get a little bit of a break into the afternoon. You start to see a little bit of more mixing, more rainfall along the lakeshore. And then in tomorrow evening, just a little bit of a burst here and there into the evening and overnight hours. Now I'm going to pause and widen the view for you. You can see what's happening here. Color contours indicating the mid-levels, surface winds coming out of the south-southwest. This is what happens here when we have this break in the system, and into the evening hours, again, picks up just a hair, and then it wraps on around. That's when we're starting getting that colder air moving in Sunday heading into Monday. Now let's go back to Monday heading into Tuesday. Monday high noon, well above the freezing in the low 40s. So any precipitation, mostly going to be rain and then a little bit of snow moving on in. And that continues through Monday overnight into early Tuesday with a ridge building back in. Of course, we know we like a ridge, and I'll explain why in just a few minutes. Rainfall accumulations through tomorrow night, as I said before, anywhere 1 to 2, maybe even 3 inches in some areas. Well inland, still likely to be just a little bit along the lakeshore. Snow meter is back, my friends. This is likely going to be for tomorrow. Of course, we're looking at what's next here. You can see the Union Home Mortgage 7-day outlook showing that ridge taking place come Wednesday. Milder weather moving on in into the 60s. And by the end of the week, another trough moves through. The Browns, you can see that next Sunday on the 21st. Going to be a cold one, but should be a dry one, Will.
Looks like a roller coaster from Cedar Point right there.
Doesn't it? I'm telling you. It's the monster effect.
Have fun at the top, right? When you can.
That's going to be on
not
Wednesday.
As fun on the way down.
Nope, not at all.
Jason, thank you so much. Meanwhile, is the forecast for the Browns still heavy in the run department with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt out? Nick Camino previews tomorrow's game against the Patriots next.
The Sports Report is sponsored by the people-pleasing people at Sarah Auto Park in Akron.
Great to welcome you back. Hope you're enjoying the weekend. Gosh, slow sports weekend, right? I'm kidding. This is ridiculous. We've got so much to get to. Let's just do it. Browns and Patriots go at it tomorrow in Foxborough. We know the situation with the Browns. They'll be without Nick Chubb, and they're going to try to make sure they don't fall back to the 500 mark. Both teams come into this matchup at 5-4 on the season. No Chubb, no Hunt, no Demetric Felton. They're dealing with COVID-19. Other guys must step up, and it may have to come from another position when you think about it. Perhaps Donovan Peoples-Jones. He's been impressive all season long, and his coaches they've seen it for months.
He makes plays. And I do think when he came to training camp, I do think a bunch of us thought that he was in great shape, thought, he looked 1 year better, 1 year, growth in his body. But he's a player that we're going to be counting on. And he's continued to make plays when called upon.
This week we talked about style points for Ohio State. Leave no doubt, win convincingly. Well, Ryan Day said he wasn't going to really think about that too much. Just go win a football game. His team said, we're going to give you some style points today against Purdue. Every game is big now. Ohio State has to win out and win the Big Ten title to get to the college football playoff, and they played like it today. Early first quarter, C.J. Stroud, 21-yard touchdown hookup to Garrett Wilson. That made it 7-0 Buckeyes. Still in the first quarter, Buckeyes up 14-7. Check out Trevion Henderson, the freshman running back. He does his thing, 57 yards to the house. Good guys on top, 21-7. Garrett Wilson, a historic day. He had 3 touchdown receptions, and this 51-yard touchdown run, 4 in total. Ohio State goes up 42-14. Yes, the Buckeyes collect those style points. They roll over the Boilermakers, 59-31 in Columbus. Here's Ryan Day after the W.
I think it was a good win, in November against a team that was dangerous. And we came out early, played well, created some turnovers, and certainly made a lot of plays on the perimeter. In the run game, I thought, we moved the line of scrimmage. Certainly something we've spent some time talking about as an offense. And then finishing drives in the red zone.
All right, high school football playoff action continuing tonight in Division 5. The Kirtland Hornets, we've talked about them. They have a historic mark going. Tiger Laverty's team taking on Garrettsville Garfield. Check out Hornets quarterback Ramon Lascano. Keeps it on the option. He goes 47 yards down to Garfield's 25-yard line. And then just a few plays later, it's Mason Russ who will find his way into the end zone. Kirtland wins 25-7. They've won 53 games in a row. They get South Range next week for the regional title. All right, Division I volleyball state title matchup between Magnificat and Olentangy Liberty, and the Blue Streaks get it done. They win match point in the 4th set. They win 3-1. That's the match. And this is Magnificat's first ever state championship in volleyball. Division II volleyball state title game. Gilmore Academy taking on Cincinnati Roger Bacon down in Fairborn, Ohio. And the Lancers of Gilmore, they win their 2nd straight volleyball state championship. Congratulations to them. To D3 state volleyball action. Independence taking on Liberty Benton. What a season for the Blue Devils. All the way to the state finals. Played well, but they come up short 3 sets to none. Congrats to Independence still. All right, to Lower.com Field in Columbus. State finals soccer, Division I. St. Ignatius battling Centerville. Ignatius, these guys were winning state titles when I was in high school. They're still doing that. Nolan Spicer with the game-winning goal in overtime. Wildcats win 2-1, their 11th state soccer title in school history. Division II boys soccer final between Bay and Cincinnati, Wyoming. Defensive game for both teams. Just under 3 minutes to go. Wyoming breaks the ice here with a goal. Bay falls 1-0, but a great season for them. Can I just say this? The Cleveland Cavaliers right now are a lot of fun. I don't know how long it's going to last. They might fade, but right now it feels legit. Right now it's a lot of fun. They were taking on the Celtics tonight at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. They trailed by 19. How about Ricky Rubio up top to Jared Allen? This broke an 87-87 tie. Cavs win 91-89. They've been fun. All right, home opener for Cleveland State as the Vikings hosted the Bobcats of Ohio. CSU down 58-43, but the Vikings won't go away. Trey Gomillion hits the bucket. He's fouled, gets 3 the old-fashioned way, but Cleveland State falls just short to OU, 67-56. Those teams were both in the NCAA tournament last year.
And time. How many games did you get in there?
I don't know. I think we just broke a record right here. We just broke a record right here. I'm sweating. Must be the sweater.
Good stuff. A lot of great sports today.
We're ready.
Cavs game. My goodness.
Yeah, we're ready to roll. Cavs keep doing their thing. We'll have a lot of fun this winter.
Unbelievable. Absolutely. Good stuff.
Right,
Thanks for joining us. SNL is up next.